All right, you guys, what's up? This is Uncle P from Super Easy Forex, and this video you definitely want to pay attention to because there's some important stuff that's going on this week before you trade. I guarantee you want to make sure you listen to this video. It's crazy, going to be a crazy trading week. Plus, there's some crazy stuff going on, so let's get straight into it. Let's go straight to my little cheat sheet right here. What I do is I created myself a little Excel event spreadsheet in Google. And I just have three categories. It's really simple. And for my students, you remember I used to do it on the whiteboard. Now I'm just like, why don't I just do it here? And then what happens is if I travel, I can put it up on my mobile phone device or whatever. If I'm trading on the road, I'll always have it anywhere and everywhere I go where I can just reference it real quick, right before I take trades to know, okay, what news events are coming up on this particular pair. Should I take this trade or wait until after the news event? And that helps you to save on a lot of unnecessary losses, okay? So moving forward, point is, there's only three categories: currencies, news events, and what day of the week. That's all I need to know. I keep my stuff really, really simple. That's why we call it super easy, okay? So on Tuesday, we have CAD coming out with their inflation rates, which, you know, inflation is highly tied to interest rates now. Okay, and then GBP is doing theirs on Wednesday. Now, here's the big kahuna, okay? On Wednesday, the Feds are coming out with interest rate news. Whether they raise it by 50 basis points or 25 basis points or a quarter point or a half a point, whatever it is, whatever they may do, or just freeze it all together to stop the bleeding with the banks, because since the Feds have raised interest rates so high, hard, fast, and in a hurry, it's crashing the economy, it's crashing banks. This is why you're having bank failures. The interest rates are going up way too high for the banks to be able to stay stable, and so they're collapsing. So what they say this Wednesday is going to be huge impact over the global markets, huge. Because when the banks collapse, you got to remember, where do corporations, how do they run? A lot of corporations run off of OPM, which is called other people's money. Where do they get that from? They get loans from the bank, pay a certain amount of interest, and keep paying it back, and they keep renewing those loans to keep themselves a surface, right? But what happens if the interest rates are way too high and they can't pay it back? Well, they've tried to jack the prices up, which means inflation for you and I, which is why your prices have gone up on everything. But if it gets to a point where not even jacking up the prices is going to work, because you put them up too high, customers stop buying. So guess what happens? The business goes under, banks are going under. So what the Feds do this Wednesday is going to be huge. But I got something towards the tail end that's really freaking scary, okay? And again, I'm not into conspiracy theories, but this is freaking, okay? I'm going to give it to you. All right, so now, on Thursday, GBP is coming out with their interest rates, and then on Thursday, forgot to put that, on Thursday, JPY is coming out also with their inflation rate numbers. Now, again, please do your own due diligence. Don't depend on me. This is just my spreadsheet that I'm sharing with you so you guys can kind of see exactly what does Uncle P do, okay? Now, here's where it gets freaking creepy. Oh, by the way, if you are looking for some help to make some money from home while you're working on trying to learn how to trade or whatsoever else, we had a killer week last week. We did 16, and this, remember with our signal service, there's actually two sides to it, okay? There's actually two sides. And it comes in for the same price, same low monthly fee, just $69 a month, but it comes with two big things that just, I mean, it's just like we're really giving it away. So number one, you get alerts, signal alerts through a private Telegram channel. You download the Telegram app, create your profile, and then once you sign up, you'll start receiving, you'll hit on our links and you'll start receiving alerts when we take trades, me or Mr. Ellis, right? Last week we did on that side, just the signal alerts, we did 16 wins and only one loss. 16 wins. Ooh, hot. Okay, 16 wins, all right? Now, on the other side of the service, which is where you can trade live with Miss Jenny, the 6 to 7 figure earner. She probably 7 figures now, but I don't ask questions. I don't ask people's money. I mind my own business. How much money you make? How much? That ain't none of your business. And I don't ask my staff either. My teammates, I don't ask them their money and how much money they make. That's none of my business. I just know they do well. There's no way you can kill the markets the way they're doing and not make money, and it's done live in the live setting. So the second half of the service is live trading twice a week with Miss Jenny in the live setting. And if you can't attend, the recordings, all sessions are recorded, because some trades are day trades, some trades are swing trades, and and you have your scalps. You got different ways of trading, so it's all recorded. So if you can't attend, and there's still opportunity to get in on that trade, and they typically trade the NASDAQ, the S&P 500, stuff like that. Okay, so their pip count is going to be way different than we do for the signal side, which is why I don't put how many pips we did on the signal side, because it'll look like, hey, they're not doing nothing. No, when you're trading the NASDAQ and the Dow or the US 30 on the Forex platform, those pips are so much more different and bigger than the ones you get with trading the US Euro USD or the USD JPY. It's counted differently, okay? But the perception would be that even if you made 1,000 pips over here, but you made 25,000 over here, it looks like, okay, why waste my time with this? No, it's just that they count the pips differently, but it's a lot of money being made on both sides of our service. Whether you're in the live session with Miss Jenny, which, by the way, they did 25,560 pips last week. That is freaking insane. 25,000 pips in a week? Okay, and remember, they trade the US 30 and the NASDAQ, which means the money you make off of those are far more vast than what you make off of currencies, right? But then you combine 25,560 pips on that side plus 16 and 1 on this side. What are y'all waiting for? I mean, realistically, what are y'all waiting for? Okay, so I just want to throw that plug up in there. Now let's get back to the last but not least scary part of what's going on. So everybody's hearing about the banks that are collapsing, banks collapsing, banks collapsing, banks collapsing, which I warned you guys about a long time ago. One of my students said, hey, Uncle P, you've been telling us about this coming for over a year. Well, I try to tell people in advance, but who am I? I'm just a black guy in a baseball hat. I'm not on Wall Street or anything else, so why would people listen to me? Well, that's okay. For those who did, okay, I got an email that earlier in the week from an accounting firm. Okay, an accounting firm, and I told them about it, and they sent me an email earlier this week saying, "Oh my God, thank you so much for telling us, because we were able to move our money. You told us about this months ago, and we were able to make save our accounts by moving our money out." Well, there you go. Okay, but it gets worse. Riddle me this. Now, again, I'm not into conspiracies, but you got to admit that this right here is crazy. How is it that right in the midst of all, watch the wait, let me step back. And I'm going to say this quick and end this video, because I'm not trying to get canceled, censored, or killed for opening my mouth about their business. I'm just sharing with you so you'll be aware what's going on and why I told people shake and bake, start taking some of that money out of the bank, start buying not just gold. People say, what do you invest in? Get you some dry good foods. Because if there's a run on the banks, and if things collapse, if World War III is going to happen, which, by the way, I'm not the only one saying it no more. I've been saying it, but I'm telling you, everything is lining up for it. If all this stuff collapses and happens all at one time, guess what? It's the main thing you're going to need. Toilet paper, food, and groceries. Just like I told y'all right before COVID hit. I told y'all what to go get. I listed it out and I said, here's the things you want to go get, and you go get them. And those who listened, they did very well, and they were sitting comfortable right days before the herd mentality kicked in. What's the herd mentality? Everybody started panicking and running to you. Remember, some of y'all probably was that happened to you. You went to the grocery store, had to stand in long lines, and it was rationing out how many toilet papers you could buy, how many gallons of water or bottled water you can get. They started rationing, but us who was wise, we got in there and we bought as much as we wanted, and we packed it up and stored it up for the rainy day. So here's a good investment. Invest into your belly for you and your kids and your wife or husband or whoever, significant other. Go today and start stacking up dry goods. What's the worst that can happen? You can eat it anyway. Okay, so there's no downside to it. But if things go bad, you want to make sure you have enough food, water, and other supplies on hand so that you're not the last one in line scrambling and fighting to get goods and services when things go bad. Okay, but that's just me. And again, I'm not a conspiracy theorist, but I do look for evidence. And here it is. Have I not told students? Didn't I tell y'all this? Didn't I tell y'all? Boom, here it is. Fed now. What is the Fed now? The Fed's cryptocurrency. Now riddle me this. Riddle me this. If I'm tripping, then why is it that they're launching this right at the time when the banks are collapsing? How did they time that so perfectly? Well, you can time it perfectly when you're the ones who's destroying the banks. Do you hear what I'm saying? You the one caused this financial problem of being a wasteful spender. Then you tell the people, oh, there's a crisis and we're going to fix the crisis by raising interest rates to cool down this inflation that you created. You created this inflation, then you going to come around and try to pretend to be the rescue ranger. Oh, I'm just going to raise interest rates. And then you raise them to a level that has not been historically done ever. And now everything is falling apart. The stock market is collapsing. The banks are collapsing. Everything's collapsing. And suddenly you put on another cape and say, I'm going to rescue today because guess what? Now we're launching this right away. I think it's coming in May, June, or July. But it's happening in a couple of months. Not a couple of years. In a couple of months, 2 or 3 months. Here come the feds. Oh my, we have an alternative plan. And some of you guys who have been trading in the digital space, which by the way, hold it. Guess what SVG Bank or whatever that SB whatever, guess where a lot of those crypto startups were getting their money to start up these crypto companies? From that bank. So if that bank has collapsed, isn't that just another nail in the coffin to competitors to the Fed coin? Because they don't have access to capital to start an alternative. Guess who is coming out as king? Oh my goodness. But I'm going to stop this video. What do I know? I just know Forex. I'm just going to trade my Forex. I'm keeping my mouth shut. I got company coming. I'm going to have a great day with my friend. And my wife is in there cooking some chicken and steaks and stuff like that. I'm going to eat right now. And I'm going to shut my mouth because I'm trying to live. I ain't trying to be coming up missing. Hey, you know, Uncle P ain't did videos in about 6 months. What happened to the brother? No, you ain't going to hear on the news. Well, I'm black, so you know, well, I ain't want to say that, but you know. But the truth is, if I come up floating, I ain't going to be on the news anyway. It's just, y'all know, my Uncle P ain't did no videos in a number of months. Nope. So I'm going to stop this video here, but do your own due diligence. How is this possible? How?